Okay, great. We are live here with industry leader, and I'm excited to have one of my favorite people from the East Bay area here and the business community in Oakland, Dale Marie. Welcome, Dale Marie. How are you?
I'm great today, David. Thank you. I like to say Dale Marie Golden, golden like your,
Money.
you got it.
Yeah, I fit that into the video. I thought you would like that. It's with the gold hair and the gold standard, and her name is even golden, so it's just too perfect.
There you go. There you go.
And I did want to compliment you on your Zoom background there. I always like how you have some flowery, some just beauty in the background there.
Thank you. This was an orchid that I got over a year ago that was left on my doorstep by a very grateful person who got PPP. And then, of course, the blooms dropped off. And almost to the day, a year later, they started blooming again. I got them to bloom again. And that person also got their PPP loan forgiven. So we keep on re-blossoming. It's great.
Great. Well, I just love helping tell your story and providing a platform for you to tell your story, Del Marie, because I see you as a lead person in your industry, an industry leader, as a banker. And I see, Bridge Bank is also an industry leader. And then also your work and all your extracurriculars, which we're going to talk about in terms of your networking, your community service and activism. So I just think the full package is what you offer. And you're kind of a model for me and a lot of other people in the East Bay for how to succeed in business and how to succeed in life. So I want to, I'm so excited to help tell your story, but I did want to, get to you and just have you tell us who you are, what you do, and just a little bit about your professional success story.
Thanks, David, and thanks again for having me on. You're always such a gracious host, and it's so easy talking to you. Although I do always get nervous, but I try to get my butterflies fly in formation. Okay. Talking about success, I have a nice quote from Maya Angelou about success, and she says, success is liking yourself, liking what you do, and liking how you do it. And I think that is why I am so happy now in this profession, which was nothing I was planning on doing. I've been an English school teacher. I've been a motivational speaker. I've done radio. I've done lots of different things. And this just kind of came about. But this is really a great way for me to use both my sense of creativity and passion about helping people and helping empower them, because knowing about your money and how to use your money is definitely empowering.
Great. And I know you're currently vice president of Bridge Bank here in downtown Oakland, and you can help people and businesses with all their banking needs. And I know a lot of great people use you for their banking needs. I actually got some testimonials here um, I'll just read just to give people a little. I just find our clients are the ones who really show us how valuable we are sometimes. And Dale Marie Golden is an amazing banker, an advocate for small business and nonprofit organizations, especially those led by women, and a friend.
That's nice.
She has a fierce love for Oakland. I love that line. And one of the best Angelos Angelou stories I've ever heard.
Oh, I'll have
Um,
to tell you that story. I'll tell you that story if you like.
okay, please do.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead. I love that.
Well, I think, one of the things that you were curious is what, made me so, oh, now I can see you. What seen me so different as a banker. And I've been at Bridge for 14 years. And before that, I was on the Stagecoach for 14 years. And Wells Fargo had something called supermarket banking. And so I was working at the Andronicos in Berkeley and would pull out my little station. And I had my little bank right there in the Andronicos. And one afternoon, this black limousine rolls in, and I could tell it was somebody important. And I'm kind of looking out. And then I kept on doing what I was doing. And then suddenly, this woman approaches me who looks a lot like Maya Angelou and says, "The cashier will not cash my check. I am just here." And I believe it was for maybe her aunt's memorial service. And she said, "I'm just trying to buy a fruit platter. Can you cash my check?" Well, now, rules at Wells Fargo, you would have to have an account. She did not have an account. And I looked at the check, and it might have been for, let's say, $125. And the only way I could cash it would be to put in an account number. So this banker thought a little out of the box and decided if Maya Angelou check bounced, I'd be more than honored to pay for it. So I put in my own account number. Whoops, I probably shouldn't tell Wells Fargo that. And was and I cashed her check. And she went back, got her fruit platter, and she was gone. And it was just so amazing to me that the cashier wouldn't think outside the box, just saw rules, and they were told not to cash an out-of-state check. I think it might have been North Carolina or South Carolina. So years pass by. I'm no longer supermarket banking. I'm the manager of the Montclair branch in Wells Fargo. And this beautiful, regal woman walks in the branch, and you could just feel a difference in the air. She's so powerful. And she came and she sat at my desk and she said, "I would like to cash a check." And I said, "Well, you might not remember, but I helped you at Andronico's a couple years ago." And she looked right at me and she said, "Why do you think I'm here?" She had found me. She knew I'd cash her check. And I went over to the teller line. I got her cash for her, came back, gave her her cash, told her how much I admired her. She walked away, and I looked down on we had a calendar, the daily calendars that you can write into. And she wrote in on that day, "Dale Marie, you are a phenomenal woman."
Great. I love the anecdotes that you have, and I think in hearing the ones that you tell, that ones that I hear other people tell about you, it really shows this, this concept of excellence in business, that all that you do, you use that in your banking, but also in your community service and how you treat people. You make people feel excellent. You do excellent work, and you just have this kind of aura of excellence. And, that shows in these little anecdotes too, about quotes from your clients here. I want to read a couple more because they really summarize it in other people's words. Thank you for your help on so many levels. You are one of the people that make Oakland a great place to be. Thank you
Oh,
very much.
and you know what? That's from a leading cardiologist. I know who that's from, a leading cardiologist in Oakland. And I was thinking, wow, doctors don't always take a time to compliment somebody. That really meant a lot. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, here's another one that I think sums it up too, about thank you very much. It truly is the little things and kind words from people like you that make a huge difference. You are without any question such a pleasure to work alongside with. Your kind tone and positive energy is greatly appreciated. Thanks again, and have a wonderful rest of your day or slash week. And one more here. Dale Marie is a star. She knows everyone in Oakland, and we call her the unofficial mayor of Oakland. If you want something done, go see Dale Marie. When Switch Banks 14 years ago or so, I did. So that's sums it up right there. The unofficial mayor of Oakland, right here with the gold standard that she sets. And I did want to get to a little bit about your business because I know um, we want to let people know how you can be of service to them. Um, could you just tell us what really makes you unique as a banker in the East Bay area?
Well, I think the difference is that when someone sits down and opens up an account with me, let's say if it's a nonprofit, I'll tell them I'm going to be on your board, but I'm not going to be there at any meetings, but I'll always be advocating for you and I'll always be looking out for you. So for my nonprofits, many times they are so passionate about what they're doing and what their mission is. A lot of times they're not really looking at the business aspect or the risk aspect of their business. And so I try to work with them on best practices. Um, they might say, well, I've always been the only one to look at this. And I said, well, I've seen when it goes sideways. I've seen when it goes bad. It's always good to have a second pair of eyes. It's always good to have what we call in the banking business dual custody. And that helps protect you from fraud. And unfortunately, fraud is escalating. And so you just have to be aware of those things. So I help with that. Not only that, I have a lot of business owners that saying, you know what, I think it's time that I give back. And they're looking to serve on a nonprofit. And every single one of my nonprofits is always looking for board members. And if they're not, they should be. It's always good to get new blood on a nonprofit and in a nonprofit. Oh, that's great. I just saw your little girl pop in. That's
Yeah, that's
that's
my
wonderful.
production assistant. I say popping in here. So
There you go.
um,
Your production
yeah,
assistant. That's good. That's good.
and I think I probably wouldn't see this on your resume or your LinkedIn, but I notice it about you is how great of a business knowledge and a business sense you have. You have the knowledge of the money, the money aspect in the banking, but I just see you help, grow people's businesses and your business networking chapter. So you bring so much more than just banking. It's just this kind of person to support you and your business. And the banking's a big part of it, but so many of these intangibles that I see that you do for folks. Um,
That's
I,
nice of you to say and recognize, David, because a lot of it has to do with a lot of the bigger banks tend to be very transaction oriented. And we are very at Bridge, very relationship oriented. Um, we're there to help you out. And I'm in a very unique situation where I can help you with a business line of credit, business credit cards, all your business banking. And in big banks, there's one person who does business banking. They have another silo for personal banking, another silo for merchant card services, another silo for equity lines. And the wonderful thing is, I can do it all. I'm licensed to do equity lines. So I can talk to a business leader and not only help her with her business, but I can help her with an equity line on personal expenses, can help open a grandchild's savings account, can open up that first college account for a student and warn that student about not accepting every credit card offer. And that's kind of where I got the name of Mama Dale. It's kind of I can take care of it all. I can take care of you.
Mama Dale sums it up, and I love how I know some folks who call you that, and I see more and more how that fits. And I do think that you said so much there about your kind of how you treat people. And I think people who just spend time around you, they see all these kind of intangibles. And I did want to get to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about some of your nonprofit work and community efforts, because I really see you as so active out there in the community. Could you just tell us a little bit about some of these other things that you do that you're involved in, and how the synergy, if there is any, between that work and your work with Bridge Bank?
Oh, there's a lot of synergy because when I talk about relationship, when I talk about giving back, I think all of us have some ability to give back. And if it's not monetarily, it could be volunteering. There's so many different ways where you can help just as one project, or it doesn't mean you necessarily have to be on the board. Right now, I'm serving on the board of the Oakland Ballet, and we just had an amazing, successful gala on Zoom. I'm also on the board of Oakland Parks and Rec Foundation. We also, 2 weeks before that, had a very successful gala, and I served on both committees, helping getting sponsors and people to attend the events. And what's interesting is we're really servicing the same kids. We're trying to get kids outdoors in a healthy place and be in the parks and learn how to swim. And we're also trying to have kids be involved in the arts and be able to experience dance and music. Um, and I think by helping the children, it's an amazing way to help our community.
Great. And I know I went to that event with the Oakland Ballet, and that was just a beautiful turnout for the year table, with Bridge Bank being a sponsor. And I just really see that you're living your purpose out there. And I think you really inspire a lot of other people to live their purpose and do good things for the community. So you're such a role model for community service and community involvement. And kind of brings me to another thing about, I see this core philosophy of our business networking group, which we're involved when BNI. I'm in a different chapter. You're in Visions of Exchange, and the core philosophy there is givers gain. Could you just tell us why you think this core value is important in business and in life? Because I just see this illustrated in you and so much that you do.
Well, I think so many times, especially when you're starting your own business, you just want to sell your idea. And really what it's all about is sitting back and listening and seeing how you can help that other person. If you're constantly thinking about the sale, the other person kind of feels it. But if you genuinely care about that person, they know. And that's where it gets into exactly like a provisors group that I'm with. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. And the whole idea of giver's gain is helping people, is giving. And yes, eventually you will get back, and many times I've found it's 10 times more. Like an orchid that keeps on blooming.
Oh, there you go. There's a golden principle right there. If you don't mind, some folks, this might be the first time they've met you. I just wanted to see if you could tell us about a few of your other core values and how you use those to help serve people both in Bridge Bank, but also some of the other work that you do. Um,
I think a key thing that sometimes I find people, it's hard to wrap their heads around, especially if they feel like they're suffering, and that's abundance. If you come from abundance and not scarcity, when you come from scarcity, you never have enough. But if you come from abundance, then you realize every moment is precious. I mean, just the fact that I can be here, take some time in my day to share what I'm doing with you, and for you to share your whole new program called Industry Leader. This is just a wonderful moment in time. And so you just need to think of every moment as precious and come from abundance, and not thinking what you don't have, that you don't have enough money. Well, guess what? You probably have more than another guy, right?
No, I hear you. And you were definitely one of the people inspiring me to create this program. And I have a lot more to
Oh,
come in terms of industry leader and helping lift others up, just kind of building on some of the work we do in BNI, but also giving people a platform to tell their story because I think we learn so much from one another. And
very true. Very true.
yeah, you said a lot right there. There was another note I was going to make, but I'll come back to that. Um, I did. I do see you, and a lot of people see you as one of the best networkers, if not the best, in the East Bay area. Hence the unofficial mayor title. Would you mind just telling us a little bit about your secret behind networking? I kind of know a little bit here about what makes you tick, and I really admire it. But I want it's so powerful to hear you explain it. Um,
Well, I mean, I've already mentioned it's listening. It's really listening to people. Not so many times when somebody meets with somebody, you have a preconceived idea. And so, for instance, I'm meeting with a prospect at 2 o'clock, and I could say to them, well, you need me because of this, and this. No, what I'm going to do is sit back, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to find out what they need. And that's how I can help them. And again, I'm always looking to help somebody. So it could be, I'll give you an example. We just had a fellow BNI member that was looking into getting an apartment. And I said, well, I'd be happy to give you a referral if you need that. And he said, I had helped out with one of the nonprofits she was on. And that's when it kind of gets that idea, Dale, you know everybody. But it's because I just love connecting people, and really listening for what people need. So I said, boy, that's personal banking. I just helped you get a rental. I had somebody else say, uh, Dale Marie, my daughter is going to be able to go to prom. It's outside. Do you know somebody who can hem her dress? Like, wow, this is taking banking to a new level. But of course, I did. So it's that kind of thing when you listen and you're there, and then people tend to go to you. Um, Again, as a trusted advisor, not only for banking, but for life.
Excellent. Sorry, we did have a little technical difficulty there. The video froze up for a little bit, but I'm glad we got you back. And, I do say it's a little bit like stone soup. The banking's kind of like the stone, and that you help people in so many other ways. And I think one thing that makes our community so exciting here in the Bay Area is, the a number of people that are civically engaged. And I think it gives me great hope and excitement for the future about how we can kind of make the East Bay a better place, so to speak, and beyond.
David, you are so right. Because again, I hear, we all hear a lot of the negative, and there's some tough things going on. But when you also, and I'm with them every single day, my nonprofits that are helping with social justice, my nonprofits that are helping with mental health, my nonprofits that are helping with Family Pass. I did their one of their speeches for their gala, and they have a 24/7 hotline for families. And that something like that didn't exist when my kids were young. And especially now with the pandemic, it's been tough on a lot of families with people working from home and kids at home. But there are nonprofits making a difference, like Missy. Missy is motivating, inspiring sexually exploited youth. They're doing amazing work in our community. So there are just so many different nonprofits that are truly making a difference. I could go on and on. CASA is court appointed, and they advocate for kids that are victims of domestic abuse. I'm telling you, there are a lot of good hearted, hardworking people in our community.
Great. And I'm going to call this a bonus question because we have a bit more time. We'll go just about another 5 minutes here. Um,
Okay.
what,
Okay, great. Boy, that went
yeah,
by fast.
I know there's a few key things that I see with you as, your positive attitude, your bright attitude and disposition, your attitude of abundance too, your belief in abundance. And one thing that we haven't talked more as much about that I really see something so powerful that you practice is this concept of teamwork and working together as a team in the kind of the community activities that you do, but also the business community. A lot of people don't realize as entrepreneurs that there's so much value and power in working as a team. Could you just tell us a little bit about your belief in teamwork and how important you see that in some of the things that you do?
Well, what I especially see with entrepreneurs is that, again, they're passionate about their business, but many times they become isolated. So it is really nice to actually think of your banker as being part of your team. I joke around and say I'm your silent partner that's not going to be so silent. I've been doing this for 28 years, and now I know a lot with what works and really what doesn't work. And one of my favorite things is when I have an entrepreneur say, "Well, I don't need to get a line of credit." And I go, "Great, that's the best time to get it when you don't need it, because when you do need it, it's tough to get it." And I can't tell you how many people called me during this whole pandemic saying, "Dale Marie, thank heavens I listened to you and got that line of credit. That is what got me through." So again, it's working as a team and also giving other experts that can help them. Other like even if it's a business coach, a lot of people don't realize that they're stuck. And you know, I can say, "Look, did we made an agreement? I'm your partner. Let's look at this again."
Yeah, and really
So
there's yeah.
go
Sorry.
ahead.
I was going to say there's nobody better to have in your corner than Dale Marie as a banker, and I think you are so smart and so creative and warm and caring too. So you combine all that, and there's no real secret why you are the gold standard, so to speak, for banking in the East Bay area, as I like to say, and also a lot of the other things that you do. It's such a pleasure to be a part of. Going to the Oakland Ballet event and seeing the folks that you bring there and what you did for that organization. And also I keep tabs on your park and your recreation commission as also a very influential group, seeing the difference you make there. So
Absolutely.
I don't know if there's any other causes. I know Family Paths, and there's probably some other things. Leadership Oakland that you're involved in, the Alumni Association. We have an
Yes, yes, we
event coming up.
started that 2012. I'm still involved. I can't believe it. 8 years later, 9 years later. Pretty
Well,
crazy.
great.
Oh,
I
and I
did.
have to do a shout out for Trin
Sure.
Tran. I think I have some purple in my hair too. There we
Beautiful.
go.
I did want to just end on who your ideal client is. Who are you looking to work with out there if somebody's listening and they need some banking needs?
I appreciate you asking that. A lot of times right now, it would be, I think, a business that is looking to go the next level. That I think what happens a lot of times with anything in life, like with a banking account, you might start somewhere, and if things aren't really broken, you're like, why should I fix it? But I had my most successful year during the pandemic. And I think the reason is that during that time, so many people went to their big bank for help and they just couldn't do it. And not only could they not do it, they didn't have the information. And that's one thing with Bridge Bank. We've got the bells and whistles of a big bank because our we're under the umbrella of Western Alliance Bank, but we operate as a community bank. So Bridge Bank gives back to Northern California. Torrey Pines Bank, which is in Southern California, is our sister bank. And we have 9 branches in San Diego, one in LA, one in Beverly Hills. Then you go to Arizona, we're Alliance Bank of Arizona. In Nevada, in Las Vegas, we're Bank of Nevada. And in Reno, we're First Independent Bank of Reno. So a lot of people don't realize that again, we're a $50 billion bank. There's no other model like ours. So we do have those bells and whistles to help take you to the next level, but you've got that personal service where you can text me and go, Dale, I don't know where my credit card is, and found out that sure enough, it was delivered the wrong place. We closed it and we delivered it to the bank, and they just picked it up and let me know as I'm talking to you now. So it's a hands-on banker. I do a little bit of everything.
Beautiful. And we are just about at time. I wanted to end with one anecdote, and I'll give you a chance to make a closing comment or quote. I know
Okay.
I still remember about a year ago when the pandemic just started, you gave a keynote speech for Family Paths, which was very impassioned. There was, over between 100 and 200 people in the Zoom room there. And one thing that you said that really stuck with me is, during these hard times, if we can just help one person, that makes a big difference. And if everybody just did that, I just think that piece of wisdom really shows how you are, such a wise thinker and some of the things that you say. And I'll give you the last word and want to thank you so much for coming on the Industry Leader podcast.
Well, David, it's been my honor, and I learned that lesson when I was in the board of Covenant House, and Covenant House helps those foster kids. There are many wonderful foster parents, but many, once they're not being paid after a child is 18, they they're out on the street. And I saw the difference of just helping one child go from being homeless on the street to actually attending UC Berkeley. And I remember asking him, like, what's the biggest difference? And he said, not having to do my homework on the sidewalk, always looking around who might steal from me or take something. I mean, that's pretty powerful. But it was because one person cared, and that's all it takes to make a difference. I love to end with Maya Angelou. I'm probably the only banker that has a picture of Maya Angelou and Michelle Obama in my office. But she said, like this: do the best you can until you know better. Then, when you know better, do better. It's that simple.
Beautiful. Well put. Well, we'll end it there. And please let me know the contact information that you want me to include publicly about people getting in touch with you for their banking needs, or if you want to say any of your contact information, you're welcome to. But I will put that in the comments section, and look forward to keeping in touch and talking soon.
Sounds great, David. It's real easy. Dale.golden@bridgebank.com. I'm happy to answer any of your questions.
Perfect.
Thanks again.
Thank you so much.